Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing great. Today we'll be talking about this really cool sci-fi action thriller movie that I watched last week, Upgrade. We'll talk about the plot of the movie first, then the things that I really liked about the movie, then the things that they probably could have done a little better. And then if you decide to watch the movie, it is streaming on Netflix right now. So you can just hop onto Netflix after watching the review. Without any random backstory today, let's get into the review. The plot of the movie. The movie is basically a revenge story. It is set in a futuristic and technologically advanced world wherein there are smart homes, self drive cars, and food printing machines. It focuses on the story of an old school mechanic who likes to do everything with his own hands in this automated world, but then his life turns around when his wife and he are shot during a theft. His wife dies and he loses his ability to move. He becomes a quadriplegic, and in order to try and move again, he gets a stem cell installed in his neck. But then they realize that the computer chip can do a lot more than just move his body, and then he turns into almost a superhuman. And after that, the movie follows the regular storyline of a revenge plot. Now we'll talk about the things that I really liked in this movie, and the first of them is the acting. It is a 90 minutes movie, and Logan Marshall Green, who has played the character for Great Race, who is the protagonist of the movie, is on screen for at least 80 minutes, which meant that the burden of acting in the movie had to be borne by him, and he has done remarkably well because he has had a lot of emotions to portray in this movie. At the start of the movie, he is a happy husband, then he is a frustrated quadriplegic, and then he turns into basically a super ninja. And he has shown all of that in a very seamless and a very humane way. So this is like not a very over the top movie because the acting holds it to the ground. None of the other actors have given a particularly outstanding or remarkable performance that you'll remember. And I'll talk about the other characters in the later part of this video. Action. This is a no nonsense action flick. So like the action in it had to be really well made, and it is. All the action and fight scenes are really well choreographed, and like there is a lot of things that are happening in the movie, like bullets are flying through people's hands, and arrows and bows are flying through their noses, and there are like very raw and gore fight scenes and knife scenes. So like overall the action is really well made and is very enjoyable and entertaining. It is really well made because of the camera work in this movie. Lee Wannell, who is the director of the movie, has done a remarkable work with the camera. Like the camera follows the protagonist in all the scenes. Like if the protagonist falls, the camera falls with him. If the protagonist stands up, the camera stands up with him. And because of that, it feels like you're following the protagonist in the overall story of the movie. And every time the protagonist makes a small movement, the camera moves with him. And I think that is a really unique and something new that I watched and that I enjoyed, honestly. The scale at what the movie has been made. I'll tell you, while watching the movie feels like a really realistic, technologically advanced world. And I was expecting something more of it. I was expecting something on the lines of Robocop or Venom, or something that would be out of this world, because this is a technologically advanced world. This is the future we are talking about. But then I researched a little about the budget of the movie. The budget for Robocop was $130 million. The budget for Venom was $100 million, and the budget for this movie was just $3 million. So like the budget for this movie is not even 5% of the budget of those movies, and because of that, it put things into perspective for me, because the movie is so well made in this small budget. The tight budget does not make the movie cheap at all. Overall, the universe that the director has created is very believable and very realistic, and it is very enjoyable. There are no cheap VFX scenes just for the heck of it in the movie. All the scenes, all the special effects in the movie do make sense, and they're really well made. Another thing that I really liked in the movie is the end of the movie, the twist in the movie. I won't give it away, but talking about it, but just know that the movie has different climaxes. Like in the last 15 minutes or so, it has like two, three climaxes, one after the another. So because of that, the movie becomes much more than just a revenge story. Now we'll talk about the few things in the movie that could have been handled in a slightly better way to make it an overall great movie. The first one of them are the characters. None of the characters in the movie get a chance to flourish, or like there is no character arc for all the supporting cast. The only person who we get to see on the screen is Logan Marshall Green, that is Great Race, and all the other characters are the cliche characters. The bad guys are the bad guys because they do the bad things. The cops are the cops because they do cop things. The villain is the villain because he's villainous. So like none of them do get a chance to show their motivations or intentions, or just get a grey justification as to why they are the way they are. This is a 90 minutes movie, so if they would have dived deeper into some of the characters and would have discovered some arc there, it would have been slightly better to watch their journeys as well, because even if they would have added around 20 minutes to the movie, I don't think so it would have been much of a problem. And apart from this one main point, there are a couple of scenes in the movie that do not make much sense. Like there is a car chase sequence that could have been done much better. After all, it is a futuristic world, but there's okayish action scene. And then the cops never call anyone for backup. Like I don't understand why this happens in action movies, but they should call for backup. All in all, this is a really entertaining, enjoyable action movie. My verdict for it, I do not know how to rate movies, so I'll just tell you that this movie won't make your jaw drop when you watch it, but it will make you clap. Alright, guys, that was the review. If you have watched the movie already, let me know in the comment section how you liked it. If you're going to watch it now, come back and talk about the movie with me, how you liked it, how you liked the recommendation. And until then, later.